Well, hello there, Chick Chat. We're back, and we have another story of the week, but this one is for Valentine's Day, which you won't be seeing this on Valentine's Day, but we recorded it on Valentine's Day. I got my heart-shaped sweater on for you guys. I wore this last year. I'll probably wear it every year on Valentine's Day.
I just went with lighting this year. I do have a sweater for you. I think I wore it last year, so check out our last year's video for that.
Anyway, so this week's story is from Am I the Asshole? And it's from a year ago, and it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Husband I Hate My Valentine's Day Gift?
All right.
So for this Valentine's Day, my husband and I agreed that we weren't going to get each other any gifts and just focus on quality time together. My only exception was that he would get me flowers for the day, nothing expensive or crazy, just a small bouquet of daisies, my favorite flower. I've always been vocal about my desire for flowers once in a while and try to make it easy for him to understand what I want. He doesn't get me flowers for my anniversary, my birthday, or any other special day of the years, and I just really wanted flowers for Valentine's Day. The day comes up and we go out to eat and do other fun stuff. But the whole day I was waiting for him to surprise me with flowers. Instead, at the end of our dinner, he tells me he has a surprise, and it ends up being a pair of earrings. They weren't really my style, but I still tried to be really grateful for what he got me. When we got home, I couldn't hold it in anymore and asked my husband about the flowers. He said he didn't get them, and I responded by saying I would rather have them than these ugly earrings. I will admit my words were really harsh, but I'm very tired of him not listening and ignoring what I really want. So am I the asshole for telling my husband that I hate my Valentine's Day gift?
I have to admit, I received a message at the very beginning. Did she specifically state that she wanted flowers? I heard the part about not doing gifts.
She said that she told him that she doesn't want gifts, but she wants flowers. She told him she doesn't want anything expensive, just a small bouquet of flowers, daisies preferably.
I don't think you're an asshole for restating what you already stated and saying this isn't necessarily what I asked for. I think where it kind of gets sticky is the whole gifting thing. It's you're not technically supposed to ask for specific gifts. I think a lot of people do it. I do it a lot, especially for birthdays and Christmas. Our families do that. Sometimes people just give Amazon lists these days. But when it comes to a gift, it's supposed to be about a thought, about an intention, about an idea. And I do think that this man put in some amount of effort to try to make his wife feel loved and appreciated and special. It just wasn't what she asked for. And she did go through the efforts of being really specific about how she wants to receive that stuff. So I think she's not an asshole for saying you sort of missed the mark. It just, I guess, depends on the tone that she used.
I am going to be an outlier, and I think she's an asshole.
That's fine.
I just do. I think it's fine to say that you prefer flowers on Valentine's Day. I think that's fine. But I think when someone gives you something like earrings, even if they're not your taste, I still think that it takes a lot for a man to go in and buy you earrings. He probably spent an afternoon at jeweler, like Kay's. I don't know where he went. He could have went to Kay's, he could have went to Zales, he could have went and just found them online, but he still took the time to buy you something that he's probably not even really comfortable looking at. Like, guys don't know what they're looking at with jewelry. So he probably was so excited to give you this gift, and he probably thought he was doing a really good thing. Like, yeah, flowers are great, but flowers die. Men a lot of times don't see the value in buying something that's just going to die in a week. You know, like, flowers are great. Honestly, I used to have this argument with my husband because my own husband doesn't like Valentine's Day. He thinks it's a Hallmark holiday. A lot of men feel this way. I think even some women feel this way, but he says, I'll give you flowers on a random day. There shouldn't be a day where I have to give you flowers. Like, and he does do that sometimes. Like, every now and then he'll have like a little bouquet for me or something. But I think it's weird to ask for a specific gift for a specific holiday a little bit. Like, it's fine to have a little wish list when it comes to gifts. Like, I like these things, but it's up to him to decide if he wants to give you those things.
Yeah, it's okay to have a preference, but to kind of throw a fit, I'm definitely on the fence about the way that she went about this. I think it's okay to say you missed the mark. I really did mean it when I say I only want flowers. I just don't care for these kinds of things. But also, you got to be appreciative, like you said, for the time and effort that was put in, because I know my husband is a very calm, cool, and collected guy. The second this man enters a mall unattended, alone, he's in a tizzy. The only place he can find himself is at Auntie Annie's eating pretzels. There's no other place for his brain to compute. He tries every time, and I know he tries his hardest. He just always leaves with pretzels, and that's all.
I hate to say it, but men, honestly, when they do put effort into something and you shut that down, it really does get to them and it makes them not want to do anything like that. Now you're only going to probably get flowers and stuff. And you probably hurt him, honestly. That's not a way to spend Valentine's Day, to be real. What did you get him? Did you get him flowers or whatever? Why is flowers such a big deal? I get not maybe wanting to spend the money or whatever, but I think he just thought, like, okay, well, I can get her flowers anytime. How about I do something special for her? Let me get her some earrings. Like, maybe he really likes them. So for you to call them ugly and whatever, like, they might not be your taste. I've definitely gotten jewelry from guys, especially heart-shaped things that are not my taste. But I definitely think that it is rude and really mean to be like, oh, where are my flowers? I don't want these ugly ass earrings or whatever you said. Like, it is harsh. Your tone, you admit it's harsh. You're like, what I said was harsh, but am I the asshole? Yes. If you're being harsh, you're kind of being an asshole. Like,
I can see that.
if you would have just been like, I was really looking forward to some flowers and I appreciate the earrings, but I also was really kind of looking forward to some flowers. That might have been enough.
I guess that's kind of the way I'm seeing it in my head. And I know that she did go as far as to say that the earrings were ugly and all of that too. But I guess that's what's helping me to say not necessarily the asshole. But I don't know if we know how that tone went. But I think it's really important the way that it was said. Because I think there's a way to say this is not what I was looking for and I don't like these. I think it makes you kind of mean, though. Sometimes you have to hold your tongue when it comes to your partner. You just do.
Yeah, pick your battles, right? Are the flowers worth making your husband or your partner or whatever feel like crap?
Yeah, to me, the boundary was when she cuts down the effort that he made with what he got her. You can say, I would not have preferred that you got me these, but to go as far as to say they're ugly and that kind of thing, I think that's where it crosses the line into being the asshole.
They took you to do things. Like, do you understand how lucky you are, honestly? There's so many people whose men don't do anything for them for Valentine's Day. I mean, I've been in that situation many times with previous boyfriends for sure, and even my own husband here and there, like, where nothing happened on Valentine's Day. I didn't get no flowers. I didn't even get a happy Valentine's Day sometimes.
Yeah, my husband's working 12-hour shifts all weekend on Valentine's Day. It's just sometimes what happens. And a lot of women have to deal with work schedules in life and other obligations other than getting Valentine's Day gifts exactly the way that you want them. So no, I think you're right. That's the thing about gifts and time spent in relationships. It's about the intention. It's about what somebody is trying to do, and that should be appreciated, even if the outcome isn't necessarily great. If somebody takes you out to dinner and the steak is messed up, it's about the fact that someone took you out to dinner, right? Not about how the dinner went and all of that. So I think the same thing kind of applies here. He really went out of his way to bring you somewhere, to take you out, to make you feel special, to give you a gift. You should be grateful for the gift. Maybe you never wear them, whatever. Maybe you say, next time I really do just want to spend a day at home and looking at my flowers and see what he does with it. But that's not what he wanted to do. And he's allowed to express his love to you in a way he wants to as well. You're also allowed to receive it in the way that you want. I don't want to dismiss that, but I think flowers is kind of arbitrary. If you're really that upset, you might want to ask yourself if there's something else maybe that you're upset about.
Possibly, like with flowers is just like an underlying
thing for something other unmet need. I don't know.
I just have the thought in my head that this guy probably heard what you said about the flowers, but he wanted to
do one better, and he thought he was doing something so great. And
he was probably so excited.
When you stomp on a man when they feel like they're doing something even better, that's when it's the worst. That's when you're going to be lucky to get any kind of anything.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point. Once you tear a man's confidence down like that, like he was probably so excited. It's the same with women too. When you're so excited to give someone something or you're so excited to have this day with them and then they kind of crap on you, it's going to hurt you. I love giving gifts. I love making gifts. You know that. I mean, I'm Santa. Like I love Christmas. I love giving gifts. I'm very thoughtful when I give gifts. And if I were to give anyone a gift, not even just my husband, but if I were to give anyone a gift and they told me it was ugly, I'm crying about it for days. I'm telling you, that would hurt me so bad and I would never give that gift again. That's just me because I'm just so thoughtful like that. So if he really put thought and energy into it, I just think it's mean. Even if my husband gave me like the ugliest necklace I've ever seen, I'll probably wear it sometimes when I'm on a date with him. And I'll be like, I love it because
that's when you wear it.
To buy me stuff.
Maybe the next one will be great.
My husband didn't even get to pick out my engagement ring. And I've always said that I want a secondary set because my engagement ring is technically priceless because it's an heirloom. So I would love to have a second set that I would wear like all the time, and I wouldn't mind if something were to happen to it. And I told him, if we do that, you should pick it out. I would like to see what you would pick out. If he picked me out something and I didn't love it, I would still wear it because he picked it out. And I think that that's important. I think when men do decide to put their effort into something and pick something out, now it'd be one thing if like these earrings were something he just like found or had laying around or got from his mom or something like that. But it seems like, I mean, I don't know, I'm inferring, but it seems like he went out and bought you these earrings. So it seems like he thought about you. And I just think
it seems like he took you to dinner and gave you a gift, which is a thoughtful and special thing. Anyone should feel lucky, I think.
If you cut a man down enough, you won't get nothing, girl, and you'll lose that
Last
man.
time you getting any kind of earrings, and probably ain't gonna be no flowers either.
You might lose him to somebody who actually appreciates his gifts.
Oh my Lord, we going all the way to divorce. You know, at some point,
not divorce.
We make it here.
Not divorce, but you just never know. Enough times where you cut somebody down, eventually there's not much you can come back from. I mean, he's always going to remember that he gave you some ugly earrings. And I think sometimes we need to think about our choice of words, because to you in a moment you were upset, so you said something, but he's going to hold on to that. And he's not going to think you even like his taste, so he's not going to want to pick out anything for you. I'm sorry. I would have been happy with the earrings because I'm expecting flowers, but then he wanted to give me something I wasn't expecting, which is thoughtful. It is.
It really is about the thought. I can't tell you how many times we're all adults. We've all received gifts that we don't like, that we don't want, that we didn't ask for. And you are an asshole if you're mean about it. That's pretty straightforward.
And if there is some kind of underlying thing, like if this is more about communication or something, then maybe
or feeling heard or feeling listened to, then you need to communicate that much more directly than a test. Did you listen to me about these flowers?
So top comment, and it has 3,000 upvotes, says, you were in the clear in what you wanted. He didn't listen, even though you made it really easy for him. And even though he tried, he didn't do what really matters in marriage. Listen to what your partner needs. That is frustrating after a while, and therefore I can understand the harsh words. Some will say you are petty, but it is not about the present, but the fact that he doesn't not listen to what you want and need, and he's just ignoring it. Not the asshole. Edit. Wow, I just woke up and can't believe I'm top comment after so many said you're the asshole in the beginning, which I clearly don't understand. Thank you.
I really can understand where this person's coming from. I think that that's a lot where I was in the beginning of this video as well. I really think that there's kind of two sides to look at here. Maybe kind of everybody sucks, honestly. It really, really is awful to not feel heard and listened to. But again, I think that that is speaking to a deeper, larger problem, if that's what's going on. I don't think we're talking about actual flowers on actual Valentine's Day, if it's that deep. So yeah, I think that there's definitely a perspective that this commenter is right. And I kind of feel that way a little bit too. But I also feel like we're all adults here. And when someone gives you a gift, you should be appreciative. That's just facts too.
Well, and don't act appreciative and then turn around and call them ugly, because now if you say you like something, he's going to think you're lying to him.
That's also true.
I don't like that either. If you don't like it, just be like, oh, these aren't really my style, but I really appreciate it. You know?
I have gotten gifts from my husband and told him to take it back. Not jewelry or things like that, but he's gotten me things actually that I specifically told him before he purchased not to get me. Kind of, I guess, in this sort of situation, but I didn't tell him to get me anything, but I said, don't get me one of these. He got me a webcam, and I was like, I just don't want an external webcam. I don't want to deal with doing it, undoing it, whatever. I have a webcam that works fine. And then the man bought me a webcam. And almost right away when I opened it, I was like, do you have the receipt? You should probably take this back. And it probably wasn't the nicest thing for me to say. He did seem a little bit like his feelings were hurt by it. And you know what? By the end of the day, I felt worse for telling him you should take this back than to just be honest and transparent. And if you guys watch me, I'm a big fan of direct and honest communication. But sometimes you do need to just keep your mouth shut. And guess what? He never took back the damn webcam, and I just hurt the man's feelings about it instead. So
she did say she does want flowers more, and he doesn't give her flowers. I think that's something you can bring up to him at a different time. You know, I do really like flowers. I would love it if you gave me flowers. Why aren't you giving me flowers? You know? Or that could be a therapy session even. If it's about communication, that's something you guys can work on and talk to somebody about. And that's what I think maybe OP might be feeling, is that it's a communication issue. But I just feel like if it's about Valentine's Day, I think it's not worth hurting your husband's feelings.
Yeah, you got to
flowers that are going to die in a week.
The day is about having a moment to enjoy together. It's really not about much else. It's about expressing appreciation. So whatever he did to express appreciation, I think should be appreciated.
This comment says, to never get someone a small bouquet of flowers when they've requested it is so odd to me. You were straightforward in communicating this with him. He doesn't have much of an excuse here, not the asshole. And someone else commented, and I think this is interesting. I've worked in the jewelry industry for decades, much of it in retail. You may or may not be surprised at how many women come in, pick out several pieces of their absolutely favorite pieces of jewelry. We get a list together, and then the husband boyfriend comes in. We show them exactly what their partner loves, and then they veer off and buy something completely different. It's practically not even a price point thing. I've seen it happen with big buck engagement rings. I've accrued a lot of theories over the years as to why, but it's impossible to stop them when they made up their minds. I think sometimes maybe just they don't have the same taste. So they're like, I like this, or I think this. So I don't know, this might be a differing in taste. But I think the fact that a man will go in and even buy these things sometimes, I've worked in jewelry as well. There's a lot of men that won't even do that.
Yeah.
They'll let you make the list and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. But also at the same time, you do not want an ugly ass engagement ring, especially with a medal that you don't wear or things like that. So I get part of that. And I totally believe that person. I think sometimes men are just or people in general are just on a one track. This is what I'm doing. Maybe there's some kind of strange
phenomenon.
I'm the one buying this too, so I'm going to buy what I want to buy for you. My husband's a little bit like that. He's definitely not a gross power hungry sort of person, but he takes pride in some fashion of doing what he wants to do for me, sometimes more than what I want to do for me. Sort of like you want to think you know your partner better than they know themselves, but you don't.
What could be a good thing for her to implement is maybe doing both things. Flowers are inexpensive. He could have bought flowers and the earrings. Like my husband very much doesn't want to get it wrong, so he will ask me, and then there's no surprise in that, so I know exactly what I'm getting every time. My birthday was just a little bit ago. He was trying to make me make a wish list for weeks, and I was like,
you even texted me about it to remind.
Even texted Brooke to have her tell me to, and he did get me the thing I put on there. I got a sewing machine. And he also got me something he thought of himself, which was a little blanket with sleeves because he knows I'm always cold.
Right. My husband does that a lot too. I'll ask for specifics and then he'll get me kind of a surprise or something. Yeah.
Something that he wants to get me. Yeah. And then that was fun because even though it was a little bit too big for me, we still use it and whatever.
See, and that's the thing. It's always a little bit funky, but that's kind of part of getting a gift, especially from a husband. I know this is really gendered in this episode, but you get a gift from a husband, there's just nothing like it. There's always some kind of quirk or weird thing or story.
Especially if they get something on their own, there's usually
it comes with a story or it comes with an issue.
Yeah, I was over here and I saw this and
it's ugly, but it's precious because they got it for you. Yeah.
I think what he could have done was get her a little bouquet of flowers with the earrings. So then this way she was appeased. And then, there was that little extra thing. Yeah. But she at least would have been happy with the flowers. I think that that's something that maybe you can bring up to him. I would have also loved some flowers. You didn't have to trash the earrings. I guess my thing is she didn't have to trash the earrings while saying she wanted flowers.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
And I know that maybe I'm more of the minority because I do think she's the asshole still. I think he could have listened to her a little bit better, but I also think he might have just been caught up in the moment in a store and he saw something and he was like, oh my gosh, I think she would love these. And he might have been misguided, but he probably thought he was doing something really good. So to tear somebody down for doing something really good, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think we might be missing context here for me to feel super confident about exactly who's the asshole, but I think both perspectives are fair. I kind of in general am leaning more towards you though, just because at the end of the day, you have to appreciate what people do for you if you want people to do anything for you.
Some people just don't see the value in flowers because they die. You can get bouquets that last forever too. You can get preserved flowers or whatever. It's still nice to get flowers, but it's just not the hill I would die on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right. And I like the point that you said that she could have been disappointed that she didn't get flowers and still not shit all over the gift that he did get her.
Maybe brought up later, hey, I really like flowers. And I know it might not be your thing, but it is mine. And I would really love to get flowers from you. Even throwing money that your ex used to get.
I'm going to find a man who will find me some flowers if you don't.
Exactly.
Get me a florist.
Why aren't you a florist, girl? I like flowers so much. It's giving. Did you see that movie with Blake Lively and the flowers? It ends with us.
No.
I did watch it. I liked it. I don't know. She is always
I'm
like
sure
this.
I would like it. I like those kinds of movies.
She is always like this though. Like I don't know the face she always makes, like with her mouth, but whatever.
It's a yucky face.
So this comment says, "Meh, I'm gonna go with not the asshole, but judging by your post, your husband seems like the kind of guy that thinks flowers are useless since you keep begging and he instead gets you something material, like an earring. He says you will use next time you get yourself the flowers and make a display of how much you like them, i.e. post them to social, keep them around for a while. He doesn't understand what they mean to you despite your pleas for them. Hopefully he clues in. Good luck." I mean, sure. I think he knows you want flowers, though. I think that he just doesn't see the value in flowers. There's just some people who don't.
Yeah, I think he just really doesn't see what it means to her.
I love that her name on here. This must be like a little throwaway account, but Miss Lola Flowersgate. She did comment quite a bit.
This is too much. For some flowers.
She did comment quite a bit. Someone said, info. Did he plan and pay for the date or activities? You also say you've been vocal about wanting flowers in the past. Did you explicitly ask for daisies for Valentine's Day this year? What has happened in the past when he didn't get you flowers? Did he give you any indication that Valentine's Day this year would be different? Just trying to figure out the extent you both have actually talked about this and the meaning it has for you. OP said, I planned the activities and he paid for dinner. I did explicitly tell him I just wanted some cheap flowers this year. Every time I tell him, he promises he'll get me some, and he has only done it once in 8 years we've been together. You know, I used to have this kind of argument with my husband when we first moved down here because we were long distance for a while, right? So he would talk a big game on the phone, and he would say things like, I don't really believe in Valentine's Day because I'll give you flowers on a random occasion. And when I first got down here, the first Valentine's Day, he did nothing. Mm-hmm. And I remember I felt really hurt about it, and I talked to him about it, and he was like, well, I just didn't think about getting you flowers or anything because like just like die and all that. And I was like, but that's not what you said to me when you to swindle me into marrying you and coming down here. Yeah. Like you told me you'd give me flowers on a random day, so you would make me feel special on a random day. So I don't need Valentine's Day, but you have yet to do that. And then when I said that, I think it kind of clicked for him like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I think sometimes if you can sit somebody down and talk to them, because now my husband will do it. Like on a random day, I'll come home to flowers. Like not all the time, but like every great moon. And it's like really nice. But I hate to always say therapy, but like maybe you do need somebody to help you communicate that. Because if you've been communicating that for 8 years and he's still not doing it, maybe you need someone to help you communicate that.
The more that I hear to the story, the more I'm feeling like this husband knows that she wants flowers. That's pretty obvious. He does not know what the flowers mean to her. Yes. Yeah. And so his motivation is low because the flowers mean to him what the flowers mean to him, which seems to be of low value, although I don't have that information. But if he was able to know what the flowers mean to her, then he could properly fulfill that need, whether that's through flowers or whatever else. But he doesn't have any idea. And I think that that's on both of them at this point, because if she's been asking for so long for flowers, he should be a little more curious at this point. Why the fuck this lady's asking for flowers so frequently and persistently? And she should probably be finding different ways to communicate things if at first you don't succeed. So maybe therapy is a good place for that so that she can find some different ways to help him see what it means. But it might also just be through some regular old-fashioned communication, sitting down at the kitchen table, talking about how you feel. You can kind of get down to it on your own too.
Yeah, or you could just get divorced.
Or you could just get divorced and find yourself a florist, and he'll build you a secret garden, and you'll have flowers every day.
Secret garden.
Secret garden.
Not secret garden. Anyway, so this comment says, how many times have you bought him flowers? And
that's dumb.
What kind of question is that?
That's dumb.
Girl buys boys flowers anyways, but teach their own.
Yeah. Right.
So OP responded, he doesn't like flowers, but he loves the outdoors and hiking. So I'm always finding unique places for us to go and planning trips since I know he likes it and I hate hiking. All I'm asking is for him to return the favor and get some simple flowers, which is much easier than going on.
This is such a toxic comment, this person's response, and I hate people like this. Here this person is expressing, even if they're doing it in a mean way or being an asshole, a need that they have. And here we come with the whole white people to all of us. It's always about me. Why not listen to me? Me too. When. Somebody wants something. Listen to them. And if you want something afterwards, ask for it. But don't push it back and forth.
I really think this could be so simple. Look at no flowers. Ew. Brooke, are you gonna freak out?
It's so fresh.
That's cute.
You got a little Valentine's Day balloon now.
Yeah, much better. Perfect. So festive with the pink light.
He said they didn't have any flowers wherever he went.
He tried.
So all them manses went and got flowers because they were sold out.
You know what? That's a thing too. What if he tried to get you flowers and they were just sold out? Because that happened to Dean one year as well. There was a year where it was Valentine's Day and he was like, I did go to the store to get you flowers, but there was nothing. And what was there was gross.
That happens too. You got to be there at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, so what if he tried and just what was left was just slim pickings? Did you want dead daisies or would you prefer ugly earrings?
Yes, or a balloon.
The balloon is nice.
I like this balloon.
You can even huff that balloon if you want.
Oh, that'll be fun later on.
You guys can take turns.
The new thing the kids are doing to stay connected. It's the newest therapy intervention for couples.
The ones you huff with are the ones that last forever. So someone says, you're the asshole, finally. I've been waiting for a you're the asshole comment. Yeah. I don't understand the whole we agree to not get each other gifts when you explicitly asked you to get flowers. Yeah, I mean, that's a gift.
Yeah.
If you have to tell someone to buy you flowers and they do, it's not a thoughtful gesture. If you wanted flowers for the house, buy them yourself. He got you a gift and you were ungrateful. I appreciate it may not have been a great gift for you, but he tried nonetheless. I don't think you're a bad person, but I think you completely missed the mark on social etiquette. And they have negative, like they have downvotes.
Really?
Yeah, it's all negative, like 26 negative downvotes. But wow. I think that comment was a little bit harsh. Yes, I think you should be able to tell your partner, I like flowers. You should buy me flowers every now and then. Now, I don't think you should be able to schedule your flowers and be like, I want a bouquet of daisies at 5:00 on Valentine's Day. No, I think that's weird. I agree, though, with you got a gift, you were unappreciative of it, and the way you acted, I don't agree with that. Like, I don't agree with calling something ugly that the man took time out of his day to pick out for you. Now, I didn't watch this man, though, so if he just went willy-nilly in a store and didn't really care and just grabbed something, that's different. But if he actually took the time to pay for a gift and buy you something, and he probably was excited to give it to you. If it's what I'm thinking in my head, I still think you're the asshole a little bit. I do think, though, that there's a bigger communication issue, like we were saying earlier, though, that you might want to address. Other than that, I really think this is just a really petty little thing to get super work. It's just not worth the battle. I just can't get over picking your battles. I don't know. The flowers are not worth this battle.
No, I completely agree. They're absolutely not. Even if the flowers are indicative of a larger problem that you're not being heard or listened to, that's the problem that you have to speak to. Let's not make people feel badly for the things that they're actually trying to do.
Yeah. He could have got you absolutely nothing, which shows you what you wanted or what you said. You're saying you want nothing, but then you want something. So stop doing that. That's a miscommunication in itself. I'd be confused.
Yeah.
You agreed to not do anything for each other for Valentine's Day, but then you guys are all going out and doing activities and having gifts. That's Valentine's Day. What's the difference?
Yeah.
That's what everyone else was doing. So OP responded, I know I'm in the wrong for acting that way, but it just feels as though he's overriding my opinion and go with what he likes rather than the clear option I provided for him. It doesn't feel like he's trying when he ignored what I told him what I want. I think maybe that's where he messed up. I think, like I said earlier, he could have gotten the flowers and the earrings. Flowers are not expensive, especially.
That would have been the optimal thing to do.
Yeah, it's a small little bouquet of daisies. Those things are cheap. You can even find them in the ground, you know?
And that's what makes me think there could be a deeper issue going on here, because it's almost as if he went out of his way not to get her what she asked for. And I can see how that would piss somebody off. Again, maybe not the time to express your pissed offness, but I could see how that would make someone upset. But I just think we're missing a little bit of context here, and she needs to let him know what she's really wanting from him, which is not just flowers. It seems like she wants to be heard. She wants her opinion to be validated. I think that's more of what she's looking for, and not just with a gift.
Right. Her edit, she has 2 short edits. So her first edit says, since Reddit won't let me respond to any one of the comments anymore, I just want to make some clarifications. I paid for our activities and he paid for the dinner. I also did explicitly say I wanted flowers, which is why it was an exception to our rule. I didn't get him a gift because we both unanimously agreed that we wouldn't exchange gifts. I even showed him a bouquet of daisies at the grocery store that were around $15 he could have gotten me. I got so angry because the flowers were the one thing I've been begging for him to get me since the beginning of our relationship, and he's only gotten me flowers once. Another edit, since a lot of people are confused, he came up with the idea for no gifts because we get each other gifts all year. Why? Whatever. When we talked about it, I told him that was okay, and all I wanted were the flowers. He also agreed to that. I didn't get him a gift because he himself said he did not want anything. Okay. Maybe he told you he didn't want to get you a gift because he wanted to surprise you with a gift. He said, like, let's not do gifts, and then he saw something, and he was like, oh my gosh, I really want to get that for her. And he wanted to surprise you. I don't know. I wish I knew this guy's thought process. I would love to see the day in the life of him.
It's so crazy to me. This person left a whole comment of clarifications and context, and I feel like I got no clarification or context.
No, I feel just as confused, if not more than before. I think what she should do is ask him like his thought process. Like, what made you pick out these earrings? You know, why don't you ask more about that? Like, see, not liking the earrings, but instead of being like, oh, these ugly ass earrings and like, where are my flowers? I would have been like, so how did you come across these earrings? Like, what made you buy these? And then listen to his story, because like you said, there's always a story.
And that might make them a little more endearing, even if you really think that they're ugly. You could kind of hear what happened there. I think that that's a good idea. But I think it would have been optimal husband mode for this guy to just get the damn flowers and something else. But I'm kind of leaning. I think you've got me pretty convinced. I don't think all the way. I'm not saying she's 100% the asshole, but I think she's 70% the asshole.
Like you said, like the stories and stuff. Like, I know you love your ring, but I think you extra loved it when your husband said there's a freckle in there that reminds me of your freckles, you know, like that little,
that is precious. And my wedding ring and engagement ring was 100% everything that I asked for, and I was very specific about it. However, there is a detail where there's diamonds up the prongs as well, and that's something that I didn't ask for, and that's my favorite part of it. Not necessarily because he picked it out, but it's just a detail I didn't think of, and he was smart enough to not just stay in the bounds of what I said. So I think you have to trust your partner to do things, even if you don't agree or it wouldn't be what you choose.
Well, it's the perfect middle ground too. Like, you gave him what you want and he did do what you want, but then he added his own little flair to it. I think that that's appropriate. I think that's honestly what I would prefer, because then this way he adds his own little touch to it.
But that's kind of the same thing of if he were to buy flowers and earrings, right?
Yeah.
That I listened to you, but I also did what I wanted to do. And I really do see where she feels unheard. But she needs to say that part and not cut down what he is putting efforts in to do. His effort should not be stomped on. They should be redirected.
If this story wasn't specific to Valentine's Day and it was, I'm constantly telling my partner I want this and this, and they're not doing this, it would be a little bit different to me. But that's, like you said, that's an underlying thing. And I think that is more or less what's going on here. So maybe she's not maybe 90% the asshole, but I do definitely think she is more the asshole than not the asshole, just because of her reaction. And I think that alone is what gets her the asshole for me, because I don't like being like, oh, I want these ugly ass things. That's just mean. I just think that's mean. I don't care if he didn't get you flowers. I don't care if whatever. It's just mean when he does do something for you to be like, oh, this is just ugly, and I wanted flowers, daisies of all flowers too. Like, I mean, they're okay.
Daisies
they're not
in
even,
February, really.
They're not even like the optimal flower. Although my favorite flowers are carnations, and those are cheap as hell. To each their own, I guess.
It's not about that. It's about what you like. So we do all want to feel heard and seen and understood, and I hope that she feels that way soon. But ain't gonna happen with these earrings, we learned.
Yeah, I just recommend either like a little therapy session or a nice little sit down talk. If you don't feel heard, then maybe you guys need to do a little bit of counseling to kind of figure out the communication barrier there. Counseling doesn't mean forever. Maybe you just need a couple sessions, but just a way to better communicate. Hopefully he gives you more flowers, girl.
Hopefully the daisies start rolling in. You better be damn appreciative of them when they happen.
Yeah.
The first time that man walks in with daisies, I know it will probably irk your soul, but you better put on your best lingerie and really make a big deal of it.
Yeah, I would honestly, if I was you now, I would apologize for my reaction to the gift. I'm so sorry. I was just upset that I didn't have flowers, and I do like the earrings. I think you should apologize for that part of it, but I think you should communicate that you do feel like you're being misheard. You love him. You like that he picks out things for you, but you also want to feel like you're being heard. And I think there is a way to communicate these things without being like, I don't want these ugly ass earrings. I want it for hours. Like, I think you could have just communicated better. I think if you would have communicated better, I would think he was the asshole, to be honest with you. But
yeah. And I know that probably sounds confusing because this person was very direct in what they wanted. I don't think could have been more direct in what they wanted. I think the problem is if you're this angry about that need not being met, it speaks to a larger need. And that's the thing that's not being communicated. So just to be clear, if anyone's confused, yes, we know that she stated exactly what the F she wanted, but she's not stating what it means to her. And that's where the disconnect seems to be, in my humble opinion.
Right. And you don't have to be so harsh with the criticisms of people's gifts. I just think that just puts a bad taste in people's mouths, and then you might not get gifts anymore.
Yeah, and then you might be considered an asshole on the Chick Chat, which
right now, yeah. But I think if you wouldn't have said ugly earrings, if you wouldn't have lashed out,
that's where the line really drew for me too.
Yeah, I have a really hard line here. And if you wouldn't have said the thing about the earrings to make him feel bad or whatever in the moment, even though you were angry in the moment, and I lash out sometimes too, but so I'll give you a little bit of grace. But I think if you didn't say that, then I wouldn't have voted you the asshole. I would have just said like everybody sucks. But I do kind of think everybody sucks a little bit, but I think that I'm missing pieces of the story or something for me to say he's the asshole and you're not the asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that this could have been handled better. That's all.
Yeah.
But,
that's valid.
Well, happy Valentine's Day, Chick Chat.
Happy Valentine's, Schmalentines.
Hope you guys all get your flowers, and
hope you're all feeling loved in the way that you want to and need to be, and that you're all enjoying yourselves.
And I don't wish any ugly ass earrings on anybody. Nope. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and
click the share, click the copy, send it to the world.
All of it. And reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and happy Valentine's Day.